This is the homework god. If students complete their homework assignments, then the god is appeased. However, if a student fails to complete their homework, the god becomes angry, and the wrath of the homework god is unleashed. This was a common story at the PLC, told among the students and joked about by our professors. It was the little things like this that proved how much of a community we really were.
Learning takes place in a long-term time frame, not just 50 minutes. That learning takes place among people, not as recipients of lecturing, that people can function effectively in a community setting and feel productive and gain from their colleagues.
A project-based learning community, feeling that the big problem at WPI was that projects started much later than the freshman year. And also, WPI had not developed, as had almost every other university, a formal learning community.
Freshman year when I took the PLC, it was basically having your own little community instead of having to go take classes on like main campus. I liked it a lot. You took all your classes with the same set of 20 kids in the same classroom, and the professors basically came to you. I think it was a really good experience in terms of it was a way to have to interact and get to know people rather than kind of getting to be like a loner freshman on campus that I feel a lot of engineering type students fall into that category.
The PLC, to me, was a great transition from the organization of high school to what WPI offers. You get all the structure that high school gave you, a regular schedule every day, same professors teaching you, lots of one-on-one activity, but it also gets you introduced to how projects work at WPI. Project-based learning is one of the keystones of what WPI is all about, and the PLC gives you a nice introduction to that.
I thought if we could dream up projects that link the three disciplines and get a space that would be available 24/7, we could develop a prototype learning community.
I really like the fact that we were at big tables as opposed to having our own desks. I know that in several other classrooms on campus you do have like the big table set up. I think it gave us the ability to be able to have everything that we needed for resources in front of us during class or while we were working on projects. You were able to have your textbook open and your notebook, and if you were doing research, your computer, or if you were looking at a PowerPoint, you could also have that up in front of you without feeling like something's going to fall off your desk. Overall, it gave a good atmosphere for an environment for doing work, doing homework, paying attention in class, and I mean, in the PLC, you aren't required to be in the classroom outside of hours, but I basically spent most of my time in here for a semester freshman year because of the way everything was set up. It was a comfortable environment where I knew I could come do homework, and I mean, it was relatively pretty quiet during the day in between classes, so it was a good place to just get work done.
It definitely helps to lower some of the barriers that ordinarily come from the really large classes that happen everywhere during your freshman year. The introductory physics classes, they're usually 150, 160 people. You sit in a large auditorium, you listen to the professor talk. Occasionally, if he cracks a joke, you can laugh. But otherwise, you just take notes and you show up every day. In the PLC, you meet the professor. I still can see Professor Kyle, and I can still joke with him to this day, 3 years later. Professor Heinreicher still knows my face. He taught math with. He taught us introductory calculus. He still knows who I am. I can still laugh and joke up with him. It's the bonds that you create with professors are just unparalleled because they're there with you every day. They're there to help you personally. Asking questions is not. Asking questions is expected of you. If you don't ask questions, then then something's wrong. You're required to build a close relationship with your professors, otherwise you just won't survive.
I can remember students being worried that it was some kind of an honors
Yeah.
program.
Yeah, they thought it was anti-WPI because it had this honors coterie. Of course, the people in it the first year said, we think
Living proof.
we're the at-risk population, we're not the honors population.
I think that in retrospect, that the kind of person who would have benefited from it the least was probably a quote honors student. The kind of person with a very traditional, grade-oriented, exam-oriented view of education, they would be much less comfortable. And the kind of person who said, well, I'm tired of classrooms, I didn't learn all that well, I'd like to put my energy into this, they did pretty well.
Seeing the same people every day for an entire semester really builds some really strong friendships. I still speak with everybody who's in my PLC class. It's a tighter group of friends than even the people that I lived with freshman year in the dorms here. I helped a lot of people get through beginning calculus and physics, and a lot of people helped me get through the beginning English and history classes that the PLC requires you to take. It's a very good community of support.
But we found that what really seemed to work was when they were teaching each other. And I think that was why the second year the basketball coach got really behind it. And he said to his incoming freshmen, take whatever you want, but if you don't know what you want, go to PLC.
I was upset when I found out that they canceled it.
Yeah.
I was very upset about that.
Without it, I know the school's been phasing out programs like the PLC for more of the big freshman seminars like Feed the World and Power the World, which are great programs, but it really it's going in the wrong direction, in my opinion. Some students don't, or a lot of students aren't comfortable with having the huge class sizes, and having a smaller, more tight-knit community to work through, or to work with, makes the experience just so much greater, and I think WPI is really missing that without the PLC.
Tech our Worcester, Tech our praises ring to thee. To alma mater good and true we pledge our loyalty. Long have we felt thy guiding hand, thy teachings broad and free. With praises loud in every land we'll show our love for thee. Then here's to good old Worcester Tech. Come fellows, join in our refrain, wave high the colors, crimson and grey, for good old Worcester Tech. As years roll on and changes bring to all things great and small, we still will thee in reverence hold, will greet thee one and all, in accents which no one may doubt, in terms so strong and bold. The world will know thy worth to us increases manyfold. Then here's to good old Worcester Tech. Come fellows, join in our refrain, wave high the colors, crimson and grey, for good old Worcester Tech.